Ladies and gents, your governor at it again. Today I want to make a video related to robots and things like that. I saw through the weekend these videos from Elon Musk. He did kind of like a press release with robots and robocabs and robovans and all these kind of technologies that definitely are going to have an impact in our lives. These things are real, these things are there, and they will have some kind of impact. And I wanted to make a reflection on the concerns of the people, some people at least, from these new technologies and the impact that is going to have on their lives. And I want to give my honest take out and how to release some of these tensions that we human beings feel towards these newer technologies that once again will definitely have an impact in our lives. How can we change the paradigm? How can we change the perception of these new technologies? I made a video a few days ago about how to change the perception of automation, and it was related to the port strikes and all that, the longshoremen and all that. Now Elon Musk is releasing this all technology, this all new technology, and once again I want to hit it because there are solutions. There are solutions that can be implemented, so there is no apprehension towards these new technologies, and everybody can actually benefit from these new technologies and embrace them. Once I start seeing the videos and start going through the comments, I start understanding how people feel and what people fear. And what they felt is that, well, some people were like, well, can I take this robot to work and have it do my work? And that is awesome. But at the same time, it's superficial, because once you are able to do that, someone is gonna be looking and they're gonna notice that, oh wait, if this robot can do this job, then I don't need to pay this person this salary or this wage, whatever it is. And they are gonna get the robots to themselves, and they are gonna replace you with those robots. Not good? Some of you think that that is the regular course of history, and that is the way things go, and you gotta be retrained, and you gotta be do this, and you gotta be do that. But remember, there will be a point, you will get to a point in which, depending on the level of specialization of these machines and the amount of work that they can do, you are not gonna be able to compete with these machines. You will be replaced for these machines, and eventually there will be less and less and less things you can do, because the most basic jobs, the most basic things are gonna be taken. As a matter of fact, the whole goal for many of these companies that are trying to put forward this technology is to replace all labor altogether with machines. How do we go over this? Let's do some history first. Throughout history, human history, modern human history, whoever have owned the automation has made the money. Not the actual operator of the technology, of the automation, but whoever owned it. Land is a form of automation. You drop something there and it automatically grows something out. The farmer did not get rich. The owner of the land got rich. If the farmer was the owner of the land, then yes, he got rich. But you will be surprised. Many people just lease or rent the land. They make some money, but they don't get really rich. And it goes like that. At whatever level of automation that have been brought up to market, whoever owns that technology have been the one making the money. Not the operator, but the one actually owning the technology. You cannot build a car. You can buy a car. You can operate a car. You cannot build it though. Whoever builds a car makes the money. Whoever buys a car actually is losing money. And like that, there are so many examples. But just to give you an idea, just small things here and there. So we have been seeing this for a while in human history now. And by this point, we should have learned already that if someone brings up a technology, throughout history there have been reticence and skepticism, rejection of these new things until they prove that they were better than the old things and they benefit. They benefit the most people. First there was a horse and someone came up with a car, and until the car did not get better than the horse, nobody transitioned from the horse to the car. There was no government intervention, there was no government incentive, there was capitalism and free market, which we don't have anymore, by the way, just dropping that one. Because this is relevant later on. So, up to the point in which a car got faster and quicker and nicer and this and then the benefits outweighed the difficulties of owning a horse compared to owning a car, nobody transitioned. When the car got better, then everybody automatically transitioned. No rejection, no nothing. It's just better. It works better. It takes less time. It takes less maintenance. I don't have to fit it. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. So I have to put fuel on it, like 2 minutes, and grease it up a little bit here and there, and that's it. We're good. We're good to go. And if it breaks, I can fix it quick. It's not like that with a horse. Oh, people transition. No more reticence. Nobody at first only the very, very, very rich could afford a car. Only the very, very, very rich could afford an engine. And then later on, those technologies were available for everybody. And these have been the pattern up to this point, in which these technologies, which are not destructive, which are not, does not have the potential to destroy your existence. On the contrary, it have the potential to improve your existence or your existence. Up to this point, these technologies started being available for everybody, and later on, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, everybody, but only the very rich could get them. And then later on, thanks to mass production and price costs and efficiencies and this and that, and math and numbers and engineering and things like that, they were available for the regular, human being in this country at least. This is not these new robo things and robo cabs and robo this and robo that. This is not that kind of technology, because it does have the potential to improve your life dramatically, to make your life very, very awesome. Help you out with chores and help you out with this or that, and teach you, or if you're alone, have people you can, have something you can spend time with, converse, and have some kind of a social life. Like, there are so many positive things that can come out of this, which is pathetic, though. That is the reason you buy one of these, because you don't have any other kind of social interaction. But hey, to each his own. But up to this point, I think, even though that technology have the potential to destroy your life, once you destroy the capacity of the individual to earn an income, you are destroying the life of that person, because you cannot live with no money. Where am I going? It doesn't matter if you destroy the ability to earn an income from that person, either through dropping a bomb and killing everything inside, dropping a bomb and destroying a factory. You took the ability of that individual to produce that income right away, or you just replace it with something. You don't need that individual anymore. Massively implemented, it is actually a weapon of mass destruction. If you implement a few millions of these things, you are massively destroying the life of millions of people. Once again, it doesn't matter if it is through an atomic bomb or if it is through a robot. Still the same effect, and you can see it right now. Even though there is no robots, a lot of jobs have been lost. Not to automation, even though some have, but to globalization. A lot of jobs have been exported to other places, and that have left a massive hole in the job market in those places that those jobs have been displaced, literally destroying the life of millions of people. Drug addiction, suicide, alcoholism, all kinds of things have happened thanks to this displacement, which in a way is a form, not exactly of automation, but you're just price of labor is a factor to consider. What is the solution? In my opinion, in an ideal world, like we have to make solutions based on the problems that we have already. We cannot have solutions based on an ideal world that does not exist. So in an ideal world, you would not have the corporations, you massive ones. You would not have any of these massive institutions that have a massive amount of power, massive amount of money, and a massive amount of sway when it comes to be about political power, actually, because it's a revolving door between Washington and the private sector, unfortunately. And that have created this transgender thing that nobody knows what it is, but it is. In an ideal world, it would be a bunch of mom and pop shops servicing their communities. And those mom and pop shops, it would be awesome if they could get these robots and they could actually improve their lives and they could benefit from these technologies, they themselves. Massive corporations, the benefits goes to the owner of the corporation, or owners. You could say, well, the shareholders and this and that. In an ideal world, none of that would exist. No Wall Street is disgusting. No none of that. No shareholders, so obviously, because no corporation, no public ones at least. So technologies will be owned by the people, not by these institutions that employ people. You see the difference? When you work for yourself and you buy these technologies, you benefit yourself from these technologies. When you work for a corporation and they buy these technologies, you suffer. What is the solution? Based on the world that we're living in right now, in which there is a government, and that government is there to protect you and represent you, not the corporations, even though the corporations are people, say Mitt Romney. These technologies cannot be, there have to be a legislation that states that these technologies cannot be available for purchase to any big institution, to no big corporations, no big institutions, none of them. These technologies are pretty much toys that can be only purchased by regular people. Maybe up to a certain number. Like you will have to work the details and see how do you make sure the people itself or themselves are the ones that actually benefit from this technology and not the corporations, and up to what number. And I know this is government control, this is bad, but you have a government already and you have to choose. Unfortunately, we are in the situation that we have to choose between pretty much two evils. Evil number one, you lose everything and you go to starve to death, because eventually it will be extremely hard to get any kind of job. And if you take the ability to earn income of that person, you destroy their life. You can cut the legs, you can drop a bomb, or you can replace it with a robot. It doesn't matter which one it is. Either or, you destroy the ability to earn income from that person, and you destroy the life of that person. You can come up with any kind of retraining or things or this or that. None of that have the guarantee that it's gonna work. And in the meantime, what is gonna happen? People have made plans, long-term plans, People have car payments, people have mortgage payments, people have sent their kids to college, and you can be replaced overnight, for sure. But you cannot be retrained overnight. Sorry, but just reality. So my solution, the one that I propose, is this one. We have to make sure, for the first time in history, we have to make sure things do not trickle down. For the first time in history, the very, very rich cannot be the first ones to have a piece of technology. This is not a car. This is something that have the potential to destroy your existence. Seriously. For the first time in history, it cannot trickle down. It have to go from the bottom up. And the people that have to have access to this technology first is regular people, and benefit from this technology. As a matter of fact, it could be that this technology needs to be actually, maybe regulated in a way that it cannot be used for certain things. That might be another solution. You cannot use this technology in certain matters. If by any chance any of you are thinking right now, capitalism and free market, number one, you don't have it anymore. 1972, it died. They killed it. We went out of the gold standard, and that was it. Nixon did it. You cannot blame anything on capitalism. You don't have it since 1972. It doesn't exist anymore. You need two things to have capitalism. Number one, the government cannot be in charge of the production of money. Number two, the government cannot be in charge of dictating interest rates. If any of those are in hands of the government, or both, in this case, worse, you do not have capitalism anymore. You do not have free market. So throw away the idea of the free market already. We can bring it back, by the way. I would love to. I want capitalism back. But we don't have it. So right now we have to work with what we have. And it's not capitalism. This is not capitalism. I don't know the name. It didn't exist. It hasn't existed before. I don't know what it is. It's not capitalism. Number one. And number two, if you are one of those that say, well, you cannot regulate who gets this technology or this other one. Bro, we have that already. We do regulate who can have this technology or the other one. And if you don't believe me, go and buy an atomic bomb. See if you can get that technology. Mass destruction? Yeah. Oh, look, this one have the same potential. By the way, in another way, it's not the same, but still. Mass destruction. Massive destruction. Regulation right now, unfortunately, what we have is government. And what we need to do is, in the meantime, we can get rid of all this nonsense that is going around. Maybe we can put together a government that actually represents us and do something for regular human beings, and not only for the guys that have the money already. And maybe later on, maybe we can even get rid of government in a positive way, of course, because we are all grown up and responsible, and we behave, and we don't need government intervention in every aspect of your life. Maybe if we can make that happen. In the meantime, we gotta use what we have. And what we have is government, and government is there in theory to represent you. And this is a way that actually two ways that they can represent you. Way number one, you can regulate the use of certain technology. Hey, this technology cannot be used to replace human beings. Massively destructive. Same way you say, well, this atomic bomb, you're not gonna drop it in New York. So you're gonna take the ability of a bunch of people to live away. It's the same thing, guys. You're just not gonna die immediately, evaporated. You're not gonna, which in a way would be better than just little by little starve to death until you disappear. Either you can regulate the use of the technology, or you can regulate who gets the technology. So if we're gonna regulate the technology in the way that this cannot be used for this purpose, that is a way to go. I don't see it happening though. Or you can regulate who's gonna get the technology and who is not. Oh, by the way, because governments can have atomic bombs, you can as a civilian. So same way you can regulate who gets the technology. Now, remember, government is government, and the financial system, even though it's extremely intertwined, it's not the same. Maybe they go like that and they say, well, only regular people can have this technology, and then banks say, well, I'm not gonna finance you any of this, because they won't finance it for you, but they might finance it only for the big corporations and this and that. Because we're living in that kind of world. But either way, that solves the problem for you as an employee. You're not gonna be replaced. You're gonna continue to do your job, and you're not gonna benefit from this technology, and nobody else will. Hopefully that is not the solution, and hopefully we regular guys, and guys is guys, you know, man and woman, can have access to this technology and not the big guys, and we can finally free ourselves from everything we don't want to do anymore. Cleaning the house or going to work for us, and we actually perceive the money, because the corporation honestly does not care who makes the work. Their thing is a corporation does not have feelings. It's not a person, even though in theory they want to make it look like it is. It's an entity, a legal entity, but it's not a person. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have this. The sole purpose of a corporation is making money, and the more money they can make, the better it is for them. Not for you, for them. You are just a means to an end, and they will not. Well, whoever is in charge, it's not a personal thing. It's not that they hate you. It's not that they despise you in any possible way. Even though they do, because they have to pay you and they want to get rid of you and keep all the money for themselves. But it's not a personal thing. That's what they are there to make money. That's what that entity have been built, have been created, to make the most possible amount of money and keep it. It's not to help you. It's not to provide you with a job. It's not to make you feel better or give purpose to your life, or no. That is not the purpose. It's not in the first 1,000 million, if that number exists, priorities of any entity, corporational entity. No, they're there to make their money, and you are a means to an end. And you need to understand this. This is part of the game. So, with this said, they don't hate you. They don't want you to suffer. They don't actively, like, but at the same time, they want to make as much money as possible. And if that means taking you out of the game, then it makes sense to them, and they will do it. Now, it is in your own benefit to protect your interest. And if they don't have access to this technology and they cannot replace you, then they are kind of forced to deal with the fact that you might be able to get one of these robots and train it and program it and do the job for you. And if you cannot do it yourself, you pay someone who knows how to do it, and you will get the thing done. And corporations, they don't care, honestly. They don't care for when the money. They don't care if you, as a matter of fact, once again, I went over this with the port strike, the video on the port strikes, and what benefits do the owners perceive from having these technologies, not theirs, but still these technologies working in an environment that makes them money, even though they don't own the technology. For once, they don't have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. So that's a good benefit. Second, they don't have to deal with the human factor. Human beings are extremely complex. Extremely complex. There are emotions, there is health, there is all kinds of things that can go with a human being, that can go wrong and have a negative impact in job performance. And that is a problem for corporations. So in an ideal world, they would own the technology that will eliminate you, and they will know the output of the operation all the time, because now they have these machines that they own. That's their ideal world. In your world, what you want is you own this technology. You don't have to go and you don't have to do their things, but the job is still done and they continue to make the money, and you continue to perceive the salary, the wage, or whatever it is, and they do not have to deal with the human factor. It doesn't matter if you get sick, the job gets done. It doesn't matter if you don't feel well, the job gets done. It doesn't matter if you feel down, the job gets done at the same output all the time, the same time, and they can count on that. To give an example, today my manager, two guys were sick. One had a problem, the other was sick. I don't know. Oh, one was on vacation. That's the other one. You don't have to deal with vacation. One guy was sick and the other one had vacation. He had to do the work of two guys today. You don't have to deal with that if those two guys were sending their technology to do the work. So it's a win-win for everybody. The corporation wins too. They don't have to pay for the maintenance. They don't have to pay for the technology. They don't have to pay for the programming. They don't have to pay for nothing. You take care of that. You want to be free. And freedom costs. It's not free. So you do the work. You perceive the salary. And then they don't have that overhead for once. And then they don't have to deal with the human factor. The vacation, the sickness, the this and the that and the that. All that goes away. Everybody's winning, guys. Everybody's winning. For me, this is sound. I don't know if you guys have any other idea, or if you have a counter argument that you want to bring up, please do. I really want to. I always want to be wrong. Always. I have tried to present here every side of the argument, so you guys can see, and maybe you want a counter argument in some particular way that I haven't covered for some reason, but we have covered the free market and freedom of markets and this and that. You don't have it. We have covered the control of certain technologies and this and that. There is already precedent. Not all technologies are available for everybody. So I don't know. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. We'll go from there. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.